bastard. You know the secrets within my flesh. Do not misunderstand it. This is not power of your creation!
Missed you a little, didn't I? This is my magical power. Full counter.
Captain Forest here, and in today's collab video, I got my boy Hotshot on the channel. Me and him, we're going to be going over both these combatants to see who would win, more often not, in a cross-verse situation. Madara Uchiha from Naruto versus Estarossa from the 7 Deadly Sins. Now if you guys are new to both our channels, please leave a like, comment down below and of course subscribe for further content. I will also leave Hotshot's link in the description to his channel. Please go check him out and subscribe to his channel. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pass over the mic to Hotshot. He's going to cover Madara, and then after he's covered Madara, I'm going to go ahead and go over Estarossa, and then we're going to basically chop it up near the end of the video and give our conclusions. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let him take the floor now.
Hey guys, Hotshot B. I am going to be going over Madara Uchiha. We will be using Alive Madara / Final Valley with no Nine Tails. Now I'm going to be going in depth on Madara scaling. There are statements that say Madara is the strongest Uchiha. Obviously, during the time that this is stated, this wouldn't include like this wouldn't include like Boruto or anything like that. This is just during like Shippuden. So like Madara would scale above EMS Sasuke and Itachi, and so during like Shippuden, before like Sasuke gets his Rinnedom and 6-pass power, Madara is the strongest Uchiha. And then the Nine Tails is able to turn the world into ash. Edo Hashirama is able to subdue the 10 Tails. And to go back to the Nine Tails is able to turn the world into ash. That would be a multi-continental to maybe planet level, depending on your interpretation. But what makes Edo Hashirama able to subdue the 10 Tails also impressive is the 10 Tails has chakra the size of a planet. And then there's stuff that says the 10 Tails power caused despair to the whole shinobi world. So here are like two statements saying that the 10 Tails is planet level and has planet level scaling. Now, the one that says about the power caused by despair, pay no attention to the stuff at the top. Just pay attention to the part at the bottom that says it would cause despair to the whole ninja world. And then why this is important for the 10 Tail scaling is Edo Madara is able to fight on par with Edo Hashirama, so this would prove that Edo Madara would scale to the 10 Tails. And then Hashirama states when Madara is coming back to life, he is regaining his past strength. He is referring to Final Valley Madara. So Edo Madara could not bust the deity gates. Like Edo Madara could not break through Edo Hashirama's deity gate. They were able to subdue the 10 Tails and Edo Madara, but when Madara was regaining his past strength, which Hashirama is referring to Final Valley, he was able to bust through the deity gates. Now, so this is also a similar feat for Jubito. Now, I'm not saying like Final Valley Alive Madara is like as strong as like Jubito. I think Jubito is stronger, but like it is a similar feat. Now, Jubito did bust through more than Alive Madara in this instance, but it's still like an impressive feat, and I do think that Madara should scale to like Jubito to some degree, like Alive Madara. And then we have Alive Madara should be stronger than EMS Sasuke, because I believe it's stated in the war that Orochimaru says Sasuke has the potential to surpass Madara, which implies like EMS Sasuke is not stronger than Edo Madara. And then Alive Madara is stronger than Edo Tensei Madara, going by Hashirama's statement. And then EMS Sasuke is able to start reading Jubito's movement. So if Madara is stronger than him, Madara should be able to perform the same feat, if not do better. And then Jubito states he's going to destroy the planet, and this would be a planet level feat and statement. Well, more of a statement. But I would say we should take this statement by him very serious, because he is bloodlusted at this moment, because he's tired of Sasuke and Naruto. So I would take his statement very seriously, because he is bloodlusted at this moment. And then Alive Madara is able to stalemate Alive Hashirama for a day straight. So that's a good stamina feat and a good feat to show that Madara is able to stalemate somebody that is slightly stronger than him for a large amount of time. And proves like Madara does have good stamina. And then for some speed scaling, because that was more of an AP scale I went over for Madara, but some speed scaling is Itachi's water bullets are light speed, and the Raikage stayed to be light speed. Now, the book is referring to, in my opinion, I think it's referring to the Raikage in V1. I think when the Raikage goes in V2, that's where he is light speed and he can go faster than light speed, in my opinion. But and then C says Raikage is moving like a flash of light, and then KCM Naruto is able to dodge the Raikage. So this would mean, Naruto is if you're able to like blitz somebody, or where it's debatable if Naruto did blitz him, but he did dodge him. The whole thing was KCM Naruto had to overcome the Raikage. So this would like mean like KCM 1 Naruto is faster than the Raikage. So this would mean like KCM 1 Naruto should be in the FTL ranges or FTL plus, and then we see later in the war, we see Edo Madara able to react to a much faster Naruto, which is KCM 2 Naruto. And KCM 1 Naruto was getting bodied by the 8 Jinchuriki that White Mask Obito was controlling. So, and then KCM 2 Naruto is able to just like one-shot blitz all 8 of the Jinchuriki. And Madara was able to easily react to him, so this would mean like Madara should be in those like FTL plus speeds, like as of now. And then there is a calc for when Madara was pulling meteors from geostationary orbit, which is the calc is 560 times the speed of light, and this would make Madara will make him massively faster than Light Plus. And Alive Madara would scale to this because Alive Madara should be stronger and faster than Edo Madara. And then Edo Madara should be as smart, if not smarter, than Shikamaru, who has a IQ of over 200. Madara should be in the top tier in the verse. He should be in the top tier of the verse when it comes to like taijutsu, because Madara has shown like he's able to handle like hundreds of shinobi with just taijutsu alone, which is a very impressive like taijutsu feat for him. And then Madara can use all 5 chakra natures. He can use the Sharingan, which gives him precognition, and he can cast genjutsu, which allows him to he can cast illusions on his opponents and control them. And like if you're not strong enough, because Madara is able to control the full like 9 tails, so there are instances where like if you're not strong enough to overcome Madara's Sharingan genjutsu, he might be able to control you and cast like illusions on you if you're not strong enough to resist it, or if you don't have any hacks to resist it. And then he has Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, which gives him access to the Susanoo, which allows him to summon a large avatar which dwarfs mountains. I think, in my opinion, Susanoo amps Madara's speed. I think when Madara is like using like the full Susanoo, like perfect Susanoo, and even when he's using like the mini humanoid Susanoo, that should amp Madara's speed, because obviously his Susanoo avatar should be faster than like his just raw speed. And then Alive Madara should be able to make multiple mini Susanoo like Edo Madara did against the 5 Kage. Final Valley Madara should still have access to that ability. And then he is able to use the, I hope I say this right, the Yasaka Mangatama, which allows him to use the blue shuriken that he's able to like fire those projectiles. He is able to use them. He can use them to fire back and knock back opponents using his blue shuriken, like I said, projectiles. So I would say, in my opinion, I think Madara should be in those planet level ranges, in my opinion. I mean, you could say multi-continental to moon level if you don't want to take the 10 tails statements and all. You just want to go by like the 9 tails and stuff. But I think planet level is fair for him. In speed, I would say if you don't want to use the calc, he should be FTL plus. And then if you do use the calc and you think it's valid, for the 560 times faster than light, he would have massively faster than light plus speeds. But I'm going to pass it back over to Captain.
Okay, let's go over some feats for Estarossa. So Estarossa is shown to be strong enough to damage the likes of Escanor in combat. We later see Estarossa ingest the third other commandment, which allowed him to take the combination attack from Zariel and Tarmiel after the attack landed. We literally see Estarossa escape the realm after taking the attack, and then he goes on to basically damage both Zariel and Tarmiel in combat. This feat for both angels that were performed was capped around the ranges of island level, small country level, large country level, and up into the multi-continental ranges of attack potency. So it just depends on where you want to take it from there. Now that's going to round up AP. I'm going to go ahead and move on to speed, folks. So Escanor can react to Zeldris while he was using Omnius Nebula, and was also able to tag Zeldris. The speed behind the vortex moves at 25 times the speed of light, and why I mention this is because Estarossa is able to tag Escanor in combat himself. So that's going to round up speed. I'm going to go ahead and move on over to Estarossa's other powers. So due to Estarossa having demon physiology, it grants him many inherent benefits. It grants him superhuman strength, enhanced senses allowing him to detect and sense the presence of others, and also pick up on magical energy too. They have self-sustenance type 2, as demons can survive hundreds and thousands of years without consuming any sorts of substance, such as souls, which is pretty much their primary diet of consumption. They also physically interact with souls. They can also affect souls too. They can also perform magical demonic energy attacks and use many other things, which I will go over. Estarossa can use Hellfire manipulation like the rest of the other commandments in Seven Deadly Sins and the other demons too. Hellfire is a move that pretty much sticks to you, and it comes in different variations, but in Estarossa's case he can use Hellblaze, which is a demonic magic like Purgatory Fire, and Hellblaze basically creates this massive area of effect of fire, and it pretty much spreads this sticky flame. It's magical in nature and it sticks to you and it will continue to burn, kind of like the Amaterasu from Naruto, and Sasuke uses that. There's no way to get rid of the flames. The flames continue to burn you down until there's nothing left of you. It also negates type 3 mortality up into the mid-high levels, which is very impressive. Now the other commandments utilize their demonic powers in different ways. In Estarossa's case, he can summon the Black Hound, a giant dog made out of Purgatory Fire that runs around spreading fire and circles basically around to trap the opponent until you are basically engulfed by the flames. Estarossa can use darkness manipulation to engulf the opponent's attack in darkness to cancel them out. He can create wings to fly. He can form weapons such as the killing saucers, or lacing his hand with darkness or demonic fire. This type of demonic magic also contains death hacks properties, which can insta-kill you if anyone gets tagged by it. Moves such as the Dark Snow does this as well, so that's just another reference point too. A unique thing that demons can do is use body control. Even when their limbs are ripped off, or they are cut off in half, or pretty much just severed completely, they can control whatever body part is missing, and they can just reattach it. Estarossa also has this ability too, and he also has type 3 immortality, allowing him to regenerate from injuries that would prove to be fatal in normal circumstances. Estarossa also has resistance to type 3 mortality negation, as he was able to take a Pride Flare explosion from Escanor's Cruel Sun, and Estarossa returns to the battlefield regenerating from the attack. This very same heat is able to negate the immortality of a vampire, to which the vampire notes that Escanor's flames are that of the demonic flames from the Demon Clan, which is the Hellfire flames, which continue to burn you down and negate your regen. Estarossa also has some resistance to holy, magical and spiritual attacks, as the magic from the Goddess Clan affects you on a spiritual level, and Estarossa has demonstrated to take these types of attacks. These attacks can also destroy you down to the molecular level, and again Estarossa takes this, which is very impressive. Now that I've covered all that, let's move on to his other abilities. So Estarossa can use transmutation, as he causes a bird to inflate violently and it basically explodes. Estarossa's commandment of love activates when you display hatred in your heart around Estarossa, or hatred for him, which power nulls you and your attacks, making you unable to muster any kind of energy to fight. And lastly, onto full counter. Unlike Meliodas' full counter, Estarossa reflects physical attacks instead of magical attacks, and it reflects back more more than double the damage. So that's like at least ×3. That's going to round up Estarossa and everyone pretty much in this video. I'm going to go ahead and move on and give my thoughts on who I think wins more often than not in a cross-verse situation. So in terms of attack potency and speed and who I think wins those categories, I would lean a little bit more so of Madara in the attack potency department, easily scaling very high into multi-continental to the maybe even moon or small planetary stuff. Now, depends on if you take the statement seriously. There's a statement for the Ten Tails being able to split the Earth in half. The energy required to split the Earth in half would require at least multi-continental range of attack potency, if not small planetary. So if you align like some of the calcs and you align the statements as well for the tail beasts, especially for the Ten Tails, like the Ten Tails is vastly above the other nine tail beasts themselves. So even if like all of them combined, if they tried to jump the Ten Tails would just completely flatline them all, just to show you a perspective. And going off the feet with Madara being able to literally break out of those gates, which can like, you know, stop the Ten Tails in place. Ten Tails can't get out. Like, that is just solid scaling right there. So I would lean a little bit more so in AP for Madara. Now in speed, it's up to you whether you want to use the MFTL stuff. That is completely optional. However, if we're looking things more so on the FTL ranges or FTL plus, I don't think speed's necessarily an issue in my opinion. I think they're pretty relative in the speed department. They have some really good FTL speed, but if we use the MFTL calc, then yes, Madara would just blitz. So moving on to win cons. So Estarossa has some pretty solid win cons. He has his love commandment, which basically power nulls anyone who demonstrates any form of hatred in any way, shape or form. So that could be an issue if Madara comes in with hatred in his heart. That could actually power null him. It's also passive too. So if that does kick in, that is another thing that, you know, could be a factor in the fight as well. Because if he's power nulled, then, you know, Estarossa can just pretty much take victory from there. However, when we're looking at things from a more interesting, you know, aspect, there's more win cons for Estarossa. He does have an exotic gallery. He does have death hacks too. So if those killing sources or his dark particles or any form of darkness or demonic, you know, dark magical powers touch Madara, he's done for. He's insta-killed. And there's also the Hellfire, which, you know, the Hellblaze, that can basically burn you down on a spiritual level as well. And it's fundamental. It negates, you know, conventional durability and just conventional, you know, means in general. And the flames will negate your type 3 mortality, and it will continue to burn you down until there's nothing left of you. So he has some win cons going in his favor. In his court, he also has full counter as well. So if Madara does attack Estarossa physically, Estarossa could just blow that back on him and Madara just instantly kill himself. So those are some things that I wanted to mention. And Madara himself, his win cons, he can also deal with a lot of Estarossa's things. Madara would just use his Sharingan a lot in combat. The Sharingan, he'll use like pretty much his genjutsu, his ocular genjutsu, you know, put Estarossa in illusions. He's very, very smart and strategic and tackle with the way he uses his chakra and his eyes as well. So he could literally finesse and trick Estarossa into thinking that he did something serious to Madara, but the whole time Estarossa is under an illusion. Unfortunately for Estarossa, he doesn't really have any solid like mind resistances, and plus even if he did, the amount of layers that the Sharingan has, which can affect like opponents who already have decent, you know, resistances to mind hacks, he's gonna get literally finessed and folded in the genjutsu department. He's literally going to be embarrassed. He's going to be standing there like a little silly sausage, and the whole time Estarossa is thinking he's doing something. So that's a very strong win con for Madara. Plus Madara can fend himself against the, you know, the Hellblaze. There's something similar like that, which is the Amaterasu, which is what Sasuke uses. So Madara would be able to handle those just fine. He could use a substitute jutsu if he was to get tagged by the flames, or he could blow the flames back, or he could just counteract with his own fire style Majestic Hurricane or Majestic Destroyer Flame, how you want to pronounce it. So he has ways to counteract it too. Stamina, I would say that Estarossa has more stamina than Madara, but I don't think the fight's going to last very long at all, so I don't think stamina is going to be really much of an issue at all in this fight. But Madara, as a last resort, even if Madara was to get hit by a death axe or something, he does have the Izanagi, so he could just like, you know, reality warp and come back, but that's like as a last resort. But I don't really see it coming down to that regard. But I would say probably mid difficulty or maybe low difficulty depending on the pace of the fight. I would lean a little bit more so with Madara. It is debatable whether you want to say Estarossa can get off his he can get off his commandment. Is very debatable. However, I do think Madara, he just win due to the ocular genjutsu and the nasty mind hacks and the mental paralysis that he has in this fight. So I just think the genjutsu is gonna just put the working and seal the deal. So I personally more so with Madara. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and pass the mic over and let Hotshot say his 2 cents.
How I see this fight going is I see Madara not taking Estarossa serious because he knows nothing about him, and then Madara starts to use his perfect Susanoo and full power when he acknowledges someone's strength compared to his own. I think if Madara tried to subdue Estarossa with his glare, I think Estarossa would be strong enough to resist it. In hand-to-hand combat, I see Madara overwhelming Estarossa and getting the better of him. I think Estarossa would have a lot of trouble with Madara's speed. I think Madara would be able to blitz Estarossa in some instances. I don't see any of Estarossa's power of darkness working or his dark magic working on Madara due to his Susanoo. I think Estarossa's commandment wouldn't work on Madara because Madara has no hate towards Estarossa, or I think if you have enough raw power, you can bypass his commandment. I think Madara would use his mini humanoid Susanoo's and keep playing with Estarossa. I think Estarossa would be able to use his full counter to get rid of all of them. I think Madara would definitely also notice earlier in the fight that Estarossa can heal. He can heal limbs and stuff. I think once Madara brings out the perfect Susanoo, it is GG for Estarossa. I don't think Estarossa has the AP to break through Madara's perfect Susanoo. I think Madara takes this fight low to mid difficulty due to having the superior AP, speed, intelligence, and durability because of the perfect Susanoo. But that's my opinion and conclusion on who I think wins the fight and why I think Madara wins the fight. But thank you, Captain, for letting me be on the video. It was a great honor, and I'd love to keep working with you in the future.
Okay, so that's going to round up everything. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for further content. Make sure you check out Hotshot's channel. His link will be in the description. It's been nice to have him on the channel, but yes, it's been real. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.